I think it's nice that it's just affordable for everybody in our community.
Something you definitely take for granted is the cost of living. I mean, that's another reason why people are settling here in this area, is because everything is reasonable here.
Everything is affordable.
Right. I mean, and you don't really notice it until you go to a big city and you're having to hand over 3 times as much for rent or gas or food.
So you can still afford that lifestyle, but in an area that is so much more reasonably priced and has so much more to offer.
So I think the cost of living still here is fairly low compared to other places.
The cost of living is one of the things that brought me back to Salem as well, either from running a business to having a house.
As far as your standard of living, you can have as nice as you want, or you can find it as inexpensive as you want. I think there's just a wide range of offerings here.
Fox and I ran into each other a few times on my trip home, and just sparks flew, and we decided that we, were meant to be. So when we talked about where we wanted to settle down, it was definitely Salem. There was no question. I left my career, moved back to Salem.
Moving from more toward the city to here is a big shock. I mean, going out to dinner is half the price. Everything is more affordable.
I think living in Washington County is far more reasonable than in many other places.
Well, it's just safe too, because you know this county and you know so many people that you're really not worried about your kids if they're riding their bikes outside. They know people, and everybody else watches out for them.
And I feel like there's a lot of church families here in Washington County. I feel like anybody would be able to find that church family that they really fit in with.
I just love how everyone takes so much pride in their business, and we should all support those local businesses.
Land is cheaper here. You can get more for your buck, definitely.
And the housing market is definitely more affordable. If you watch HTV, you'd find that out.
And also property taxes are a lot cheaper.
Well, I recently just bought a house, and my husband and I looked around a lot of different places, not just in Washington County, but the houses are so much more fairly priced in Washington County.
And they can choose, whether they want to live in town or out in the country. It's all open to them.
And we were able to find exactly what we wanted in exactly the right spot for exactly the right price. And it just has been a real blessing to us to be able to be so young and just starting our careers and able to afford so many nice things. And I don't know that we'd be able to do that in a lot of other places.
And we loved it so much that we decided that we want to stay here and raise our family here. And I actually moved my parents to Salem to live in Washington County, and we all love it.
One of the things I like about Washington County is that you can live in the small town and have all of the advantages of being in a small town, of safe, secure, caring people, and yet at the same time take advantage of all of the social, recreational, and cultural activities of the big cities in Louisville, Bloomington, Indianapolis.
If we want some of the big city features, like we like to go to the Indianapolis Colts games, we can be in downtown Indianapolis in an hour and 25 minutes.
The other thing is, of course, we're close to so many things. We have major college sports in Bloomington and Louisville and Cincinnati, Lexington. Also professional sports in Indianapolis and Cincinnati, and like the River Bats down in Louisville. Center for the Arts. There are a lot of things that are not very far away from us here.
You're 30 minutes from Clarksville. You're an hour from the Kentucky Derby. You're 2 hours from an NBA game. You're 2 hours from an NFL game. It's a very great close proximity. If you want a weekend away, you're 5 hours to Chicago?
Yeah, 5 hours to Chicago.
4 if Allison's driving.
If somebody told me they were going to be moving to Washington County, I would say do it.
Do you need a realtor?
I think it'd be the best decision they've made in a long time.
You really find that a person who comes from out of town because of their job, maybe even when that job ends, they continue to stay here because they have so many opportunities to be involved in clubs and volunteer work.
I would just tell them how wonderful our community is, that it's a great place to live, that it's a wonderful place to raise your children.
It's a wonderful place to grow up and raise your family and to live in.
I would say it's an excellent community to raise a family.
Yeah, that's a pretty good package deal. You got a lot of friends and a lot of good services and a lot of beautiful places to live. I don't know what else you could really want.
You give people of this community something good to work for, and they're going to do it. They step up. They step up in a big way.
Do you like growing up here, Jack? Is it fun?
And last question. So each of you have one word to describe Washington County. What would it be?
Home.
I was going to say the same thing. Home. We didn't practice that. Okay, go.
Home.
Family. Oh, I looked right at the camera. Let's do it again.
Okay, that's fine if you look at the camera. Sure,
All right.
charm.
All right.
Home. We were so good. We were so good.
I didn't know you were going to have to repeat yours, so go ahead. Okay, you go.
Home.
Family.
Community.
A hometown.
Green.
Home.
Home.
Bountiful.
Spacious. Hometown.
Historical.
Caring. Unique.
Interesting.
It's the best.
Passion.
Home.
Play.
Good job.
Good
Good
job.
job. Yay!
We've been working on this film for months.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of work, but it was something we were passionate about.
Our main goal was to really capture the emotion that's home.
And for everyone, I think it means something else, you know? It's a different feeling, it's a different definition. But when you hear all these people, you know, people who have lived here their whole lives, or people who moved here with no ties, they all found home here.
And we really wanted to paint a picture of that because this place has so much to offer.
But it also has so much room to grow.
Right, I mean, that's why it's such a great place to live.
That's Washington County.